Welcome to today's session. It is Friday, 4th of October. I believe round three for the final stand is over or almost over. And we casted a vote today about extending the timer. The extension of the timer, the reason for the vote is not because some people were left behind and they needed more time to go ahead and make deposits. It was a strategic decision, and which is why I made a vote system for it. Those of you that were on one of the previous Zoom sessions, I mentioned that, simply put, if somebody misses out on anything because they didn't put in the effort, they didn't put in the time, they didn't put in the attention towards anything, we're still going to move forward. Otherwise, it will begin to slow things down. And I said that I would never extend timers, extend things ever again. If you miss out, you miss out. However, this is different. And it's different because the extension somewhat makes sense. For example, we started the final stand, and I'm going to pull up the dates over here because I mentioned it on the voting message on Telegram and on the email. We started, I started to talk about it on 19th of September. Round one began 25th of September. So people didn't get their paychecks. And then all the rounds basically happened and ended in one go without any warning, without enough of a warning. And so a lot of people mentioned, please, I'm waiting for my payday. I want to make sure to get in, allow the extension to happen. I need to manage this and manage that and the other and get some money together. So there were a lot of requests for this as we were going along round one and round two and round three. Every single day, the number of requests for an extension was larger than the day before. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people, enough people were asking that I had to think about it. And so, as I was thinking about it, I asked myself, would it have any advantage for all of the members, the rest of the members, for the round one members, the guys that were fast, that said, I'm going to take big action now, I'm going to get into round one, will it impact them in a positive way? Because I don't want to slow things down for them. And the answer to that is yes. If there's more holders, and there's it's a bigger private sell, then there'll be higher liquidity going in, which makes things stable. And at the same time, there'll be a higher marketing budget to push the final stand. And so what it will do at the end of the day is it will bring about bigger numbers for everyone. So that got that check mark. Next, was the excuse viable? The excuse was absolutely viable. Check. Third, were there many requests for it? And that is an automatic check. Otherwise, I wouldn't have considered it at all. So with all of those things in place, I ended up doing a vote. Now, I've got to reward people for this slight extension, right? So what I decided to do in the vote system, I've mentioned if most of the votes are yes, then what we will do is the first 9 days we will consider as round one. So whether you purchased like Dr. Sander for round one, and then 33.3% higher price for round two, and then 33.3% higher price for round three, instead is going to be that base price, that round one price. And all of Dr. Sander's numbers are going to be on round one. So whether you got into round two or round three, you're all going to be shifted to round one. Others have mentioned on the, and this is how I know some people have not been paying attention. It's odd because the people that ask the questions are the ones who are not paying attention. The ones who don't ask any questions It's because they don't have questions, because the answer is right in front of them and they've gotten the answer. So somebody mentioned, how on earth can TFS be $1 a token? That doesn't make sense. The price is too high. It doesn't make sense. If it did make sense, then I would purchase, yada, yada, yada. And if they read the PDF presentation, it would mention that the numbers are only showing in USDT amount, so it's easier for me. TFS round one, I can see how much you've purchased in US dollar value. TFS round two, I will be able to see how much you purchased in USD value. Round three, I can see how much you put in to USD value. So for round two, you will have 33.3% less tokens. And for round three, you will have 33.3% less tokens than round two. So that will happen. And after the private sale is over, in those in that 3-day gap, and that 3-day gap is not going to become a 9-day gap because I don't need more than 3 days. In fact, I can do it within 1 day, but we're just going to leave it at 3 days. In the 3-day gap after the round two and round three are all over, when round three is over, that's when I'm going to say, this is what the price is going to be. It's likely going to be something like 0.000013 or 14 or more, a little bit more zeros, maybe even. I don't know. It would all be based on the private sale numbers. So the number of holders, how much has come in, what the final numbers are, and then it's going to be tailored. And then the real number in the final in TFS tokens is going to show up on each of those rounds. You're not going to see the US dollar value anymore. You're going to see the number of tokens. So I mentioned that very clearly on the PDF presentation. The PDF presentation is inside of the Cryptonaire network dashboard. You click the final stand, you click PDF presentation on the submenu, and it's right there. So what has happened is we decided to run this vote. It does have a positive impact on the final stand. Either way, it will be positive. This will just have more holders, more money in the market, which is going to make things even better. Now, I don't know that if I do this extension, will the number of holders double? Will the volume double? That could be the case. Another thing that people were asking and requesting about is, Rahman, after the final stand, please keep some kind of private sale there because we want to earn big commissions. Because Cryptonaire Accelerator and Secret Membership are low prices in comparison to what people can invest into with tokens. So with tokens, we've had people put in over $100,000, for example, into the final stand. Cryptonaire Accelerator is not $100,000. It is $97. So with $97, that would be what, about roughly a $30 commission if it's the person you directly referred. However, on $100,000, that's a $30,000 commission. So people were saying, please keep this up as long as possible. Not as long as possible. Please have another private sale up. Also, not another private sale, because these private sales are extremely difficult to find something of high quality. Now, the previous two private sales are extremely high quality. It's extremely high quality because they don't even see just the quick launch and the distributions that are taking place as an event. To them, it's just them giving you the tokens that you purchased on the private sale. You can sell it foolishly if you want. You can do whatever you want with it. But when the time comes and they do what they're supposed to do, and both of them are ahead of schedule, by the way, then things are going to shoot up. That's when you sell, by the way. So the fact that it's a non-event shows their thinking. and they're both thinking long term, which is absolutely great. I commend them for that. The final stand is going to be the main focus after the launch is over. I don't see, if the extension takes place, I do not see any reason to do Zoom sessions until it's all over and we're shifting things to the next step. The reason for that is because there literally is nothing to discuss anymore. The PDF presentation discusses everything. The previous Zoom sessions discusses everything about the final stand. All the information is there for you. I will email you every day, let you know how much time you have left, and all the next steps and whatever the case is, and you'll still be able to reach me. So all of that stuff is still going to be there, but I don't see the point of hopping on a Zoom session that's recorded for me to basically sit, face the camera and say, go take action, because uh, you need to be taking action. This is not something where I'm here to entertain you. This is something serious for you to generate an income, a big income, doing virtually no work whatsoever. It literally takes you a few minutes. Many of you will be shocked by it. A few minutes. Some of you are in your 50s, in your 60s, 40, 50 years 40 years of working a 9 to 5 job, and 5 minutes of action in your 50s and 60s will make you more money than the entire 40 years of working a 9 to 5 job. That has been the reality for many of you already in Cryptonaire network. And there will be many more of you that will have this reality. So shouldn't you focus in those few minutes of action? When you click on deposit now, for example, and you pick any token and you generate your address, there is a note section that damn well clearly says one time only deposits, generate address again. So, but because enough of you have said it, we're going to make some changes for it. And I was dealing with tech about it. And it's been a little bit of a headache because of the foundations and the way it was built, but it needs to get done. Next, the votes. It was a unanimous decision on email. The last I checked now, I think it was almost 70, 60 something. It was 68, 67. I can't remember. For yes, the extension they wanted. And it was, what is it, 4 or it was 7 maybe, or no. It wasn't a contest. On the Telegram is 101 that's yes and 55 that is no. The majority decision is, and it's got more than 3 times the votes for yes as it does for no, is to extend it. Which means if we extend it, then these entire first 9 days will be considered as round 1, where you get it at the lowest price. The next 9 days will be considered round 2, and the following 9 days after will be considered round 3. And then 3 days after that, the launch takes place, and the distributions will then take place 3 days after that. So what is done is it extended only the launch date. Nothing else got extended. It extended the launch date by 18 days, which is going to help you get bigger results. Now, there is something called the marshmallow experiment. The marshmallow experiment is something that took place many years ago. And the experiment was done on small children. I can't remember the age range, but kids. And the marshmallow experiment was the scientist or the person who's conducting the experiment would show up to the room, give the kid a marshmallow, And then he would say to the kid, I'm going to come back in 5 minutes or a set number of minutes. I'm not sure how many minutes it was. Let's just say 5 minutes, right? I'm going to come back in 5 minutes. If you don't eat this marshmallow, you're going to have two marshmallows. And what it did was it separated the group into the people who, as soon as the scientist left, they quickly ate the marshmallow, and the ones that were patient waited 5 minutes for two marshmallows. That group that waited, by the way, and they followed these kids from kids to adulthood to towards the end of their life. So it was a very long experiment, if a few decades, a decade being 10 years for those of you that are not fluent in English. A few decades means a few 10 years. So the kids, from the moment they were kids, young kids, the ones that waited for two marshmallows were far more successful throughout their entire life than the kids. These are kids, not adults, than the kids who quickly ate that one marshmallow. And it's because of the mindset of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means I'm going to put in the work, and to you, it's just non-existent work, by the way. So it's up to you whether you make money or not. It's you pulling in that non-existent work of a few minutes, and then saying, you know what, I'll wait 18 days to get bigger numbers. Versus now. Those guys that say now, it's the same as the kid who took that one marshmallow, couldn't wait 5 minutes to get double the marshmallows. So it's called the marshmallow experiment. You can Google it and check the actual numbers and the study there. So that's what it is related to. Now, my personal vote was yes also. It's harder work for me, right? It's a little bit more effort for me because I have to somewhat entertain you for 18 days. Hey, make sure you purchase. Hey, make sure you read the PDF presentation. I have to basically tell you things that I've already told you in many different ways every single day to get you to do what you're supposed to do. And it's not my life that's going to change, it's your life that's going to change. So in these 18 days, I'm not going to do Zoom sessions. They just don't make any sense to do. I might do some supported Zoom sessions. That would be fun, where let's say, every few days, I do hop on a Zoom, not record it, and it's going to be full on support. What's going on, guys? What do you need me to check? Let me check it. And I can do that, and that's no issues there. However, to discuss things on the final stand is foolish, and it's this. I'm not a clown here to entertain you. It's up to you whether you want to get wealthy from it or not. I'm going to put in the work. We will extend that timer. Just to ask, guys, let's do another vote over here. Yes for extension, no for not an extension, just to see the audiences here, because emails was majority yes, landslide yes, by the way. You can kind of consider Telegram mostly yes also. Double the yeses, the nos. And so over here we've got for yeses, we've got okay, yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. So it's basically all yeses here. I mean, it's 18 days, guys. 18 days. That's basically the extension in total. Entire first 9 days. This whole thing that was round one, round two, round three is now going to be considered round one. So tomorrow, Tech will add up the numbers for round one, round two, round three, and place it all into round one. And then round two will begin. So until he does that, whatever you purchase now until he does that will be considered as round one. I'll have them do it tomorrow, and tomorrow the timer will show 8 days for round two. So instead of 9 days for round two, it's going to be an additional day for round one. Get the heck in, guys. I don't know when it's going to be. It could be in 12 hours' time, 15 hours' time, but it'll be within 24 hours that round two will begin. I know now it's going to show up on your dashboard as TFS round three. Ignore that. It will all be shifted to round one. So now you've got a further 12 to 16 hours to get in to round one of the final stand. Absolutely mind-boggling that you can do that. I am going to basically cut this recording, keep it short, and send it out. Guys, plenty of you have gone big on this. Many of you put in over $100,000, by the way. I didn't. It would have been nice to show you the numbers for the top deposits. You've got to go in big, big enough that it's uncomfortable for you. This is gonna do crazy numbers for you, and I wish I could get in on it, but it's because we're launching it that I'm not able to. Okay. So it's all for you, and it's a few minutes of work at most. I repeat, a few minutes of work. If you can even consider it work, you can do it comfortably on the mobile phone. You could be you could do anything. You could be doing anything except driving. And within a few minutes, the action you take literally could set you up for multiple generations, not just your lifetime. It could really set you up in a big way. And it's all up to you because I'm going to do my job. Whether everyone is extremely happy with me or everyone is extremely pissed with me, whether it's raining or it's sunshine, whatever the case is, for 300 days, the work's getting done to make you big, big numbers. So, whatever the case is, it's just up to you what you're going to do. So, that's all I have to say. I personally do not care one bit whatsoever whether you get in or not, whether you take action or not. I personally only care about getting as big of a number as possible for those people that did get in. Someone was saying, oh, because you didn't reach me, I didn't put money in, thinking his money is going to do me any good. Nobody's money here. The entire time Cryptonaire network was open, nothing did me any financial good, by the way. Zero impact to my life except make me more busy. It made me feel good at the positive impact it's had on your life, but from a financial standpoint, it hasn't done anything to me. So those people who are like, hey, Rahman, why should I invest into this? Don't. Screw yourself. Get lost. Unsubscribe. Leave. I don't want you. Those of you that are in, we're going to do big numbers together. Those of you that are not, it doesn't matter to me. It don't change me. It's just a positive impact. Michael is saying the same thing. Michael Banks said the same thing. He said, me too. And earlier, he mentioned he's, what is he, 60 something? did you say? And that you've never worked a 9 to 5 in your life. Very respectable. And it's respectable to also work a 9 to 5 job because you're providing for your family, your loved ones, you're providing for yourself, you're making sure you have a roof over your head. However, you now have a way out. No work necessary on your end, except convert some currency, whatever the currency is, into the final stand tokens, and you're set. So that's all it takes, a few minutes. Michael said, I get paid for breathing. Basically, yeah. Money, you have to understand, it's about uh, most of making money, earning it, multiplying it, keeping it is all to do with decisions that don't take much time. It just takes making the decision. The decision itself doesn't take long. The decision itself takes a very short period of time. But the type of person that makes the decision has a certain character set that makes them make those decisions. So if I'm telling you someone who's works a 9 to 5 job, extra hours, night shifts, 6 days a week, not even 5 days a week, tries to get as many hours as possible, has been doing that for many years. And I tell that person making money has nothing to do with hard work. It, literally, they have to rewire their whole brain, their whole life. That and it's basically they have to admit to themselves that for my whole life I've been doing things wrong, I've been living wrong, and most people can't take that hit to their ego, and that's why they don't progress. For me personally, I have always had the mindset of doing things in the best way, doing things now, not tomorrow, and telling myself, how can I improve because someone out there is doing better? And I want to be the best. And I want to be so above the best that there's no competition, that there's no comparison. This is my mindset. But at the same time, I tell myself, well, I know there's plenty of people ahead of me in this, ahead of me in that. Or there's plenty of people that can uh, do this better than me and that better than me. What do I need to do to improve myself? And if somebody tells me, Rahman, you've been doing it all wrong, this is where you need to be. And I analyze that and it's true. I'm not going to attack that person. I'm not going to run away from that fact. I'm going to look at that fact for what it is and say, okay, I have to analyze everything now. What do I need to do? And that's my secret to success. Guys, I'm 30, but I've I've been making very good money since I was 18, 19. At 19, when I was living in Thailand, in Phuket in particular, I was living in Bangkok after that. Bangkok is a great place. It's still home for me. But when I was living in Phuket, I was staying in literally, it was a palace. It was 3 floors. The back garden was a private beach. The Wi-Fi didn't go to reach the top, so I needed multiple Wi-Fi routers. The back the back garden had a swimming pool. It had a sun deck I would press a button and beep, it would go out. It was electronic, and then I was on the beach. I never used the pool because I just swam on the beach, crystal clear water, private stretch of beach. I had a private beach at 19, not because I'm smart, because I accept any and all errors in my way of thinking, and I enjoy that. So if I have a conversation with someone at a debate, let's say, and that person ends up right and I'm wrong, I consider that I won the debate. I won the debate because I learned something. That person lost the debate because they were aware of it already and they just lost time. So if I'm having an argument or a debate and I'm the one who's wrong, that means I've won. So I'm always looking for these wins. I've always been looking for these wins. That has never changed my entire life. And now I'm telling you in our little debate here that you've been doing things wrong, which is why you're in the position you're in. And to get out the position you're in, you've got to do things the way I am doing things because my results show what's possible, what's probable, and what's certain. If you do the same actions as I do, then you will get the same results as me. And we can all agree you would rather, it's best for you to get the same results as me than to get the same results that you're currently getting without me, without Cryptonaire Network. So get into the final stand, get in an uncomfortable level, an uncomfortable amount into the final stand. It's going to work out for you. You can't screw it up because the distribution is going to be 1% every day. So you're going to receive a distribution every day for 100 days. Then there's going to be a bonus, a 100% bonus the following 200 days where you're receiving it every single day also. So for 300 days, you're going to be receiving tokens, 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 tokens every single day for 300 days. And there's no way for you to screw up and say, I'm going to sell everything now. And then every day you'll see there's money that's in. So make sure you take action. It's a few minutes. Once the chance is gone, you're back to your normal life now. Now, no more private sales. So you can't a few minutes of your time will no longer be able to make you a fortune. When it comes to commissions, you're going to be making commissions on $97 products, $497 products. You'll no longer be able to make tens of thousands of dollars in commissions, bam, left, right, and center. So that will be gone. These next 18 days will determine your entire future. If you miraculously, and I'm saying miraculously because the numbers, the odds, the statistics are heavily, as a group, this is not you as an individual, heavily against you. Heavily against you. And if you make certain decisions, the statistics are a certainty that you reach a very high level. For example, the statistics to reach a millionaire, if you take certain actions, are guaranteed, except if you die, except if you are incapacitated. Things like this would have to happen unless there was your country is just gone, unless something ridiculous happens, unless the US dollar completely collapses, you're basically set to be a millionaire if you do things a certain way. And if you're not yet, you have to agree with this next statement. If you don't have $1 million yet, and you're above, let's say, 35, it means you have been doing things wrong. It doesn't mean circumstances, oh, this and that and the other. That's been disproven on the previous Zoom session because my circumstance, as I shown, far worse from almost every single person here, unless you are living in a war-torn country and there are tanks going all over the place and shooting and rifles and bombs going off. And that was the reality for my parents. And then they escaped. They didn't casually fly out, they escaped, right, into Europe. Then I was born um, a year or two after. So, and then they had to do things all over again. And there was a lot of uh, uh, difficulties growing up. So I had nothing, nothing, nothing. But parents were happy. They were not fearful that everyone would die. I heard the stories. Oh, we would never go out in a group as a family because if something happened, then the whole family lineage is dead. So what we would do is, if we went out in twos or threes. So then, if something happens, then only two, three people in the family die, not everyone in the family. Things like this. This is how my parents were thinking. And so, unless you're coming from something like that, then you haven't had a rougher start than me. Which means if you're 35 and above and don't have $1 million, you've been doing things wrong. You've been thinking wrong, which means you just have to just let go. I'll do whatever Rahman says. I'll do it now. I don't care how I feel about it. I don't care if I think it's right or wrong. Let me see how it goes. I'm going to let myself go. I'm going to listen to him because I promise you, my intentions for you are good. If they were not good, I wouldn't even set up Cryptonaire Network. Again, I repeat, Cryptonaire Network hasn't changed me financially in any way whatsoever. None. I like to be quiet. I like to be private. I don't like to be on video. I've plenty of money before Cryptonaire Network and nothing extra. It's just I think I'm on a negative now in comparison to in terms of costs and what's being made because of all the costs to upgrade things and get teams in place and make sure everything is right. Traveling to meet certain people and teams and this and that and the other put me in the negative, or let's just say not the negative, but the cost opportunity financially has been a big negative. But it feels good to help you out. So make sure you do what you're supposed to do. No more Zooms for the next 18 days, but I will be emailing every single day. I will do Zooms for that's non-recorded for just hanging out, question and answer, and just being support. And I'm not being support because there's no one there to be support. I'm doing it so that I can see, I can be on the ground and see what needs to get improved. Because other people are getting paid salaries and they don't care for Cryptonaire Network as much as I care. So I need to see the groundwork, what's going on, what needs to be improved, um, what needs to get done. So I will do more Zooms, but they won't be recorded from now on. They won't have any particular inputs of knowledge or wisdom or advice or tips. The only thing that should be in your mind now in the next 18 days, especially now the next 12 to 16 hours, when everything's going to be shifted to TFS round one, get into the final stand, go in big. Go in big, go in bigger if you've gone in big already. Or you've put in this much, but if you put in this much, it's going to be uncomfortable, get uncomfortable. That is your only task now. That being said, I'm going to cut the recording. Do what you got to do.